Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Stephanie with Wolf and Sheep, and today I'm doing some weaving, so I thought I'd bring you along on this journey. I am by no means an expert weaver. Instead, I'm pretty much a novice. So what I've done here is I have a little bit of a sampler where I am practicing different stitches, and today I'm practicing Leno stitch. Leno is, excuse my daughter, I'm sorry, she has several special needs, and that shrieking sound you hear is her happy sound. So she's in the background feeling pretty happy right now. She's nonverbal, and so that's how she communicates that she's happy. But today I am working on Leno Lace. Now we know from knitting that lace is basically just putting holes in your fabric. So this is a way to add holes in your fabric while you're weaving. And it's a really simple method. Basically what you're doing is you are just twisting the warp threads and then running a weft thread through it to hold the twist in place. Something that we are very familiar with because of spinning. We are familiar with twist and keeping it in place. So that's basically all we are doing, and we're going to create these cute little open spots in our fabric. So in just a minute I'll get set up and I will teach you how to do Leno lace weaving. I also like, before I get set up, I like the effect that it has here on your regular weaving. This is what we're really going for right here, is the open spot. But it also, as a side effect, creates this really cute little sort of oval shaped up here, which I really enjoy too. So that's just an added benefit of this type of weaving. Now ignore my ends. I told you I'm a novice weaver, and so my ends are a mess. But you know me, I'm not hiding anything from you all. I do better on this side than I do on this side. This side is not pretty, but that's what comes with practice, right? All right, so now I'm set up. I have my Cricket Loom here, which is a smaller loom. This is ideal for making table runners or washcloths, dish towels, that sort of thing, scarves. But what I'm doing right now is just practicing. I've warped my loom and I'm just practicing as many different types of weaving as I can on here. So what you'll need when you are doing lace weaving is you'll need your loom warped, and you will need a pickup stick. And that's what this is. It's got a pointy end, you can see here. And what you're going to do is basically load the stitches from your loom onto the pickup stick. It's going to almost become your heddle. So I'm going to set that here behind my heddle and talk a little bit about how to set up your loom for this type of lace weaving. You want your heddle in your neutral position. That means the shed is not open. All of your warp threads are flat, okay? Because what you're going to be doing is taking one set of warp threads and twisting it over top of the other set of warp threads. And you can't do that if the shed is open. So you want to make sure that everything is lined up and flat like this. So to start, what you want to do first of all is think about how many threads you want to cross. Now I would say start with an even number, and what I did here on the ones that I've shown you already, these are just crossing 2 threads over top and 2 threads on the bottom. So it's basically doing something like this, taking these 2 threads, pushing down, and swapping places with the 2 threads that are next to them. So that's basically all we're doing. But you could do it with more. You could do 4 and 4, and you do the same thing. You push down your threads to the right, cross over your threads to the left, and then push up again your threads to the that you started with. And this is what's going to create your opening, your shed. But today I think I'm going to stick with just 2 threads, just because it gives me more to practice with. If I did 4, I'd have half as many pickups as I would if I did 2. So what I'm going to do is take my pickup stick and I'm going to push down my first 2 threads and grab my second 2, cross them over, and pull up the first 2. So now you see they've switched places. This used to be to the left. These 2 threads used to be to the left of these 2 threads. And instead what I've done is just cross them over, and I'm going to set the now threads to the left on my pickup stick. So let's do it again. Push down, grab your threads that are on the bottom and pull up, and then load them on your pickup stick. Push down your threads to the right, grab them and pull up, and load those threads that were to the right onto your pickup stick. Push down the threads to the right, pull them up so that they are on top of your threads that were to the left, and load those threads that were to the right on your pickup stick. Again, push down with your pickup stick, load those threads that were to the right on your pickup stick. So now you see we've created this little space right here where the threads are all crossed. So I'm going to do that across the entire loom here. I'm going to move a little faster, but it's the same motion every time, pushing down the threads to the right, twisting the threads to the left over top, and then lifting the threads to the right onto the pickup stick. Okay? That's what you're doing the entire row. And you don't have to use your pickup stick to push down those threads. You could just use your fingers, but I find it easier to use the pickup stick and then just kind of back it out when you are loading the threads to the left. Now what I did there is a common mistake. I only loaded 1 thread of the pair onto my pickup stick, so I had to pull it out and redo that twist. Okay, did the same thing here. So I'm pushing down, crossing over, picking up onto the stick. Okay, pushing down, crossing over, picking up onto the stick. And that's all you do. I'm having a little bit of trouble because the end of my stick is hitting into my tripod for my camera, but we're going to try and do the best we can here. That's why I'm running into trouble here with this one. I only have a few more to go, so hopefully we won't have too many more issues. Okay, and then we have 1 more set to go. So pushing down, crossing over, loading onto the stick. So now what we've done is crossed all of the stitches that were to the left have now crossed over the stitches to the right. So what we're going to do now is just take our pickup stick and lift it up onto the side. So we've created a shed where our warp thread, or our weft thread, sorry, our weft thread can go through. So this is just like your regular weaving. You're just going to pull your warp, or your weft, sorry, your weft thread through, and then you're going to remove your pickup stick, take your heddle, and you're going to beat it down just the way you would have done before. And now what you've got is you've got a series of holes in your fabric here. And you've got that nice little twist going on right in the middle. So let's do it. Let's do a couple of regular weaving, tabby weaving through here. And then let's do this again one more time. Sorry, now my daughter's in there clapping. I don't know if you could hear that or not, but she likes to clap. That's her sign for more food. She likes to eat a lot, as we all do, don't we? So I'm just going to do 2 or 3 little picks through here. And as you can see, we've got this opening on the top and the bottom, and then I separated all of the lino or lino, however you say it, by regular tabby weaving. Okay. So one more, and then we'll go back and we'll do the lace again. And you can create a little sampler like this for yourself as well. It's a nice relaxing way to practice weaving without worrying that you're going to mess up something. Like my ends are terrible, or my edges are terrible over here. But, you know, the only way we get better is through practice. And that's what this particular piece is for. So if you give it a purpose, that its purpose is for practice, then you don't have to worry as much. Now I still, when I pull the weft thread through here, I'm giving it a little bubble up like this. Because if I just pulled it tight like this and had it down on the edge, what it's doing is pulling in this other side, and we don't want that, okay? So we leave it at either a diagonal, or you can bubble it a little bit. What you want is just a little bit of extra give in that weft thread, okay? Okay, and now I'm going to put my heddle back into neutral, and we can go and do one more row of the Leno lace. So we're going to do again, remember, push the threads to the right down, cross over the threads that were on the left, and pick up the threads that were on the right, okay? So you're going to push them down, cross over, and pick up the 2 that were here on the right side. This is really hard to do with the tripod in the way, but I had to set it up this way so you all could get the best angle and see what I'm doing. So I'm going to use my fingers a lot on this one, okay? So we'll go back and do this. And you can use your fingers the entire time. You can just use your fingers and then load it onto the pickup stick. You can cross it just like that with your fingers. It's just as easy. I just prefer to do it the other way, with using the pickup stick to push everything down, but I am not getting a good angle on that right now because of the camera tripod. So we just work with what we have, right? So what I'm doing here is just taking the threads, the 2 threads to the left, crossing them over, threads to the right, and pulling up the threads that were on the right, and loading those threads that were on the right onto the pickup stick. Okay. Basically, all you're doing is creating a twist, like I mentioned before. You're twisting these stitches so that it creates an opening in the weft, and that is what gives you your lace. It's a little bit like doing a yarn over in knitting, except you're not adding any stitches to this. But it creates that nice opening that you get from a yarn over. Okay, and one more. And we've got everything onto the pickup stick. So again, we flip it on its side to open up that shed. Take our weft thread and just run it through. Okay, I'll take this out and beat this down a little bit. And there we have our next section of lace. This is our plain weave through here. Ideally, I would have added more plain weave so that it looked more like this or this, but I didn't want to take up the whole time in this video doing plain weave because that's something that we've pretty much got the hang of, I think. So that is it for this video. I hope that it was helpful. I am doing more weaving, so I will be coming back and showing you more weaving stitches, or weaving, I don't know if you'd call them stitches, but more weaving patterns in the future. So if this video was helpful to you, please click like and subscribe and hit that little bell so you know when the next video is coming out. Until then, I am Stephanie Nipper with Wolf and Sheep, and thank you for joining me. Thanks for watching.